Après-midi à tous. Gervais Birangué ici, gouverneur de l'État du Niadi. We're going to make this video tonight in English. We're going to address the Congo Federation, and we're going to address a little bit of the election 2024, the black vote, and the black economy. We're going to talk about the position of black folks here, what's happening during for this election, but for the future of the black vote. And we're going to talk about also stop looting and killing the Congo people, the Congo Federation. We're going to complete the message here to let everybody know that we are willing to work, do deals, but everything got to be based on respect, and we don't want to see our people being looted and being killed and Congo people being sacrificed so multinational can benefit or other countries can benefit, but our people don't benefit. So today it's going to be a video in English. We're going to talk about the black vote, the black economy, and what's happening to black folks here in the United States and around the world, and the kind of influence that we need to have. Okay, I'm going to share the video everywhere. Okay. And share the video in our groups. WhatsApp. Twitter, WhatsApp, and everywhere. Yeah, bonjour, bonjour. This video is going to be in English. Aujourd'hui, on va faire la vidéo en anglais. On va parler du vote des Noirs pour les élections 2024, l'économie des Noirs, qu'est-ce qui se passe, comment est-ce que nous sommes affectés. We're also going to talk about the Congo Federation and our message of stop looting and killing the Congo people and the Congo and our land, our country, the 55th country of Africa, the Congo Federation. We're going to talk about stop killing and looting the Congo people and their land, but we're going to start with the black vote. I'm going to talk about the black vote. I'm going to talk to the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. I'm going to start with talking about the black vote, the state of black America in 2024, what's going on in the numbers, but the most important part to me will be to address what has not been done for black folk in this country. And I'm going to address also, I forgot to put in the title, I want to address the black vote and the legal immigration. What happened by default with all this illegal immigration going on, or undocumented immigrant that coming in flux. What's happening to the legal immigration also, because legal immigration, people who are here legally are affected now about everything that's going on. We're going to start to talk about the black vote. I'm going to talk to Democrats first, and then I'm going to talk to Republicans, what can be done about that. And I'm going to finish with talking about the stop of killing and looting of the Congo land, the stop and the stop of the looting and killing of the Congo people and of the land where the Congos are everywhere in the world. We're going to finish with that subject, but I'm going to start with the black vote. So the state of black America is pretty brutal, to be honest, compared to the other race. And I just wanted to pick up here some economical statistics here, that what they say about black folks here in 2024. It comes from, it's called the Post-Black Excellent, it's called the 2024 Economic State of Black Struggle and its Long-Term Effect on Black Wealth. That was done in February 15, 2024. And it comes from the neighborhoodfinanceguide.com. So that's the magazine that I pick up this article from. And the name is 2024 Economical State of Black Struggle and its Long-Term Effect on Black Wealth. So we're going to talk about a little bit about what's going on with the black economy, and I'm going to talk about the black vote. I'm going to talk about what the Democratic Party didn't do, still not doing, and what the Republican Party is still not doing, and the state of the black vote and what we think about it. And I'm going to jump on legal immigration a little bit compared to what's the influx of illegal immigrants that affect the black community the most. And then I'm going to finish with the Congo Federation, talking about stop looting and killing us, but make a deal based on respect. I'm going to talk directly to the United States of America, so it needs to be clear. I'm going to finish the Congo Federation. I'm going to start with the Black America first. So I'm not going to read the whole article. The article, the title is 2024 Economic State of Black Struggle and Its Long-Term Effect on Black Wealth. I'm going to read a little part of this article, and you're free to go read the full article yourself. The article was wrote by the neighborhoodfinanceguy.com. That's the website, the neighborhoodfinanceguy.com. So you can go look at the article there. So I'm going to scroll down here and start with this little part here. There are very visible signs of improvement masked by deep inequity that, okay, on the other side of the economic track. That's the title that he gave. There are very visible signs of improvement masked by deep inequity that relegate blacks to the lowest level in society. Black statistics across the board show fewer opportunities to achieve good health, education, income, wealth, and political influence. For example, in a surprising turn of events, median black household wealth increased by 60% from 2019 to 2022. But you're going to see what it means. This represents a significant boost of $17,000. Ultimately, this is a great offset to the seismic decrease of 61% from 2007 through 2010. But what it means exactly, we're going to find out. While the median and the headline to victory, the real data reveal a much different story. A 17,000 increase is nothing to an increase of 19,700 for Hispanic or 66,900 for whites. Based on leading indicator of social and economic well-being showing that, on average, Black Americans are struggling. Despite significant unemployment, despite significant economic progress over the past 4 decades, in America, blacks in America experience far worse economic conditions than other racial groups. So blacks, the economic condition of Black America is the worst in the country, in the United States. Far worse, so blacks in America experience far worse economic conditions than other racial groups. Historically, the black unemployment rate has been approximately twice the rate for whites. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, as January 2024, unemployment was 5.3% for black workers and 3.4% for white workers. Unemployment of black teens hovers over 11.6% above the national average for 16 to 19 at 10%. So black folks are more unemployed than everybody else. For context, Asian workers face an unemployment rate of sub 3%. So black workers have been disproportionately hurt by the overall decline in union membership, the decreasing power of union, and the increase in immigrants to America. So that's how they wanted to try to put it here. Now, the black income lag, that's what I wanted to talk about the most. While the U.S. boasts has a high degree of social mobility global in terms of income equality, America ranked the highest of the G7 nations. The average American family saw large gain in income and wealth from 2019 to 2022. Overall, also become less fragile due to COVID-19 related government spending, as well as key housing and student loan repayment moratorium. However, income were largest among the highest earning families and faster among white families. There were small declines for both Hispanic and Black families for the period of 2021 to 2022. The Fed found in the last survey of consumer finance. According to the Pew Research Center 2022 research, 49% of Black households earn less than $50,000. Let me repeat that. And I'm going to talk about the Democratic Party. According to the Pew Research Center 2022 research, 49% of Black households earn less than 50%. Two-thirds of Black households earn less than 75%. No, I'm sorry. 49% of Black households earn less than $50,000. That's what I meant. I'm sorry. 49% of Black households earn less than $50,000 a year. Two-thirds of Black households earn less than $70,000, while 22% made $100,000 or more. The typical Black household earn a fraction of white household, just 65%, just 65 cents for every dollar. Donc, for every dollar, Black folks earn 65 cents. The income gap between Black and white annual household income in 2022 was about $28,200 per hour. For context, Asian median income was $108,700, while Hispanic household income closed at $62,800 for 2022. So you can see that the Black household still in the bottom when it comes to incomes. Now, just to relate to what he's saying here, if I go to this article that I pulled a couple of months ago from Yahoo Finance, when they break down the class in America, you have the lower class, the bottom 20% of earners with household income not exceeding $28,000, 28,007. So that's where a big chunk of Black folks are. The lower middle class, those in the 20 to 40% of household income between $28,000 and $55,000. So you can see that that's where a majority of Blacks are too. The middle class, those in the 40 to 60% of household income ranging from $55,000 to $89,700. So you can see here that when you look at this, when you compare to the statistics of 2024 economic state of black household, when they tell you that 49% of Black households earn less than $50,000, less than $50,000 put them in between the lower middle class and the lower class. So the majority of Black folks in this country is still poor in 2024. And for everything that people keep saying about the Democratic Party, that's supposed to be the party that will help build Black America, if we compare to the Republican Party, it has not transferred politically in reality when we look at the numbers to the reality that Black folks are living in 2024. We're still the poorest of the country. We're still the ones less likely to own a house. They even have statistics about ownership, home ownership here. Maybe I'm going to go read that a little bit, just. What they're saying, you see, they're saying that Black on the McKinsey report of the state of Black residents and the relevance of the relevance of place to racial equity equity and outcomes. Black in America are over twice as likely to live in poverty as white Americans. White black children are 3 times as likely to live in poverty as white children. So black children are 3 times likely to live in poverty than white children. According to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, white home ownership was over 72.7%. White ownership in America, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, white ownership was over 72.7%, while black ownership rates it a mid 40% plateau for the last 5 years. So for the last 5 years, black ownership, home ownership, so black people who own a house are been capped at 40% for the past 5 years. Hispanic home ownership rose to 47.5%. So you can see black folks are still the poorest. The most seen between the category, because we have 5 categories. We have the lower class, the lower middle class, the middle class, the upper middle class, and the upper class. Black folks are the majority of them are between the lower class and the lower middle class. The lower class don't exceed 28,007 a year. The lower middle class is between 28,008 and $55,000 a year. The middle class, those are between 55,001 to 89,744. So they're even under the middle class, the majority of black folks. And when it comes to home ownership, this report in 2024 is telling us that white home ownership was over 72.7%, while black home ownership rate it mid 40% plateau for the past 5 years, and Hispanic home ownership is even at 47.5%. So black are still the last when it comes to that. So by reading this statistic, I just want to get to the point where even in debt, when it comes to debt, it's the same thing. We're still the one with the biggest debt, the bigger debt when it comes to education. But I'm not even going to go there because that's just, you can read the article in this whole everything that they wrote here. But my point was to make here to show that black folks have still not progressed really. And this thing about the Democratic Party, who enjoy about 89% to 90% of the black vote over 60 years, has not delivered. What is shown in the numbers is the support of this party. The party didn't pass enough policies to help black America. And now you can see the anger and the rebuke of the Democratic Party right now. Because the reality of black America, which a majority was attached to the Democratic Party, showing now that it hasn't paid off. I'm going to talk about the Republican Party later on, but I want to talk about the Democratic Party because they're the one who came and trying to claim that there was the party of diversity. There was the party that they will include everybody. They're a big tent party. That's how they call themselves. So the Democratic Party led by President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris and his whole administration for the past 4 years, almost 3 years, 3.5 years, have still not delivered for black America. And what we think we're looking at right now that is outrageous is the fact that they're trying to have black folks to come save democracy like they're trying to do in 2020, when for the first time President Biden went against President Trump in the election, former President Trump, and they used the card of saving democracy. So during the 2020 election, black folks went vote at about 87% for President Biden. And deliver not just the White House, but they deliver 2 senatorial seats that gave the majority to the Democratic Party. They came to Georgia, here where I live. Black folks were standing 10 hours, 12 hours long online to vote for Joe Biden. Now, both Senator Warnock, Pastor Warnock, Raphael Warnock, and Senator Ossoff. So Senator Ossoff became the first Jewish senator in the history in Georgia, and Senator Warnock became the first black American senator from the state of Georgia. So both of them made history. But the thing is, with all this euphoria, with all this feeling good politics that the Democratic Party sold to black America, they say that if you send those 2 senators, by that time they was talking about, because they're going to give, they're going to deliver $2,000 stimulus check. And when they came in, they gave only $1,400. Remember, they was talking about stimulus check because it was COVID time. So not just that the black America gave the presidency to Joe Biden and gave him 2 historic senators in the state of Georgia, gave him the victory in the state of Georgia, where the 2 senators, the first African American or black senator in the history of the state of Georgia, and the first Jewish American senator was voted to put Joe Biden in power in 2020. When Joe Biden got to power, he decided basically to scrap the black agenda. So they were supposed to do George Floyd. Everybody remember what happened to George Floyd? They were supposed to do the George Floyd, pass the George Floyd bill to help protect black America. They were supposed to pass some voting rights, some protection of voting rights from, I think, Jean Lewis, who passed here in Georgia, which is the great civil rights, and he was also a senator, civil rights and politician here in Georgia. They were supposed to do that, but the most important was to help economically black folks, because now the Democratic Party came to power. For some reason, and by using excuses, not just that the President Biden, when he got to power, said that they will not follow up with that. So after black folks put him in power in 2020, one of his first things when he came out, he said not follow up with what he told people to the campaign. And even when they did the stimulus check, they gave only $1,400. So he lied to black folks, basically. And the worst part is they gave him the Senate by voting these 2 senators out of Georgia, which is historical because Georgia, is mostly a Republican, but they made history for him. And remember, black folks stayed in line for 10 to 12 hours under COVID to put Joe Biden and to put these 2 senators in power. And when they got the power, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and his Senate and Chuck Schumer, the leader of the Senate, could not deliver any policies to help black folks. They could not even deliver on the promise that they made to the black community, to the black voters. What they did when they got to the power, the first 2 years where they had the majority in the Senate, where they could pass any bill that they wanted from coming from the House, they had the House, the majority in the House, the majority in the Senate. They didn't do anything to help Black America in particular, because Black America is the lowest part of the United States. These are the people who are suffering the most. These are the people who have not grown that much, for all the reasons that you know, from slavery to Jim Crow to now the police state that many are going through. You have half of the black men in jail, the other half almost sometimes don't work. So it's a complicated history of black folks where they have been behind for decades. So when the Democratic Party, who claimed to be a party of black folks, got the power, they got the presidency, they had the Senate, they had the House, they could not even pass a bill to help Black America. And they use the pretenses, they try to justify this failure by letting Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. Joe Manchin became the president of the United States during these 2 years because he blocked every bill that will help the black folks in this country. And Kristen Sinema, so Joe Manchin became senator, Joe Manchin became the president, and Senator Kristen Sinema became the vice president. So both of them block anything, any kind of bill that had to do with helping the Black America most. Or where maybe we could include some black agenda in a policy of the United States government. So basically, the Democratic Party, after having millions of black people lining up under COVID for 10 to 12 hours to vote for Joe Biden, to vote for Senator Warner, to vote for Senator Ossoff, when they got to power, could not deliver what Black America have asked at that time. The policy that they wanted to implement, they could not be passed in the Senate. They never passed. Everything was killed by Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. So Joe Manchin became the president of the United States, and Kristen Sinema became the vice president, because they're the one who decided what passed and what didn't pass. And Chuck Schumer could not do nothing. And all I'm saying is the Democratic Party betrayed all these black Americans who lined up under COVID for 10 to 12 hours here in the state of Georgia to put them in power, and could not deliver in a policy to help Black America, when the statistics showing you that here in the United States, the statistics are showing you that according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, white home ownership was over 72.7%, while black ownership rate hit a max at 40%. The statistics show you also that according to the Pew Research Center 2022 research, 49% of black households earn less than $50,000 a year. 2/3 of black households earn less than $75,000, while 22% made $100,000 or more. The typical black household earns a fraction of white household, just 75 cents for every dollar. The income gap between black and white annual household income in 2022 was about $28,000 to $28,200 per year. For context, Asian median income was $108,700, while Hispanic household income close to $62,800 for 2022. So black folks are still under $50,000 a year. No, $50,000 of wealth. That's the wealth gap. And when it comes to home ownership, they are capped at 40%. White House 70 at 70, I believe 72, and Hispanic at 47% when it comes to home ownership. Right? And they say they have an estimating of 47.9 million people, black people in the United States. That was in 2022, making up 14.4% of the country population. So in 2022, they say the estimated black population was 47.9 million people who self-identify as black, making up to 14.4% of the country population. Right? You see? So the black population, the black economy, still between the two lowest brackets, which is the lower class, the lower middle class. Because the lower middle class, the top of the lower middle class is 55,000. So black folks are under 50,000 in majority. It's a shame. And when the Democratic Party get to power, they can't pass any bills, even when we give them the Senate and the House. And that's why I want to come here after clearly the Democratic Party, we failed black folks for 60 years. They cannot deliver when they get to power. Even when we give them the Senate, when we give them the House, they cannot deliver for black folks. Black folks still the poorest. Black folks still the ones who are the most, who work the less, get the less opportunities. They own they own less, have less wealth because they only 40% of them own homes, of us own homes. Because in America, buying your house is the way here that they call to get to the middle class or to get to the wealth. If you're not maybe an entrepreneur or if you're not a business guy, it's by your house that they kind of determine how much wealth you have compared to the debt that you have. Because even on the degree, if you look at the college stuff or the highest degree, it's not that many who making over $100,000. I think they say only 22%. Even those of higher education. So the majority of black folks are at the bottom. And the Democratic Party have done almost nothing when it comes to passing policies and laws to help black America. And that's what I wanted to emphasize more today. So when they come tell to black folks that they should vote Democratic because Joe Biden did more for black folks than, I don't know, Donald Trump, it's not true. Because when Joe Biden had the majority of the Senate, in the Senate and the majority in the House, he could not pass any bills that were supposed to help black America. He let Joe Manchin became president for 2 years and Kristen Sinema became vice president for 2 years in Senate. They control all the policy, and at the end, all they could pass is a bill of the infrastructure bill who actually help rich folks. The infrastructure bill don't bring any money in black households who make under $28,000 a year. The infrastructure bill goes to the contractors, goes to the rich families who own those companies. And when you look at the black businesses get less than 1% of the federal dollar when it comes to investment. Black business get maybe around 1% of that kind of money. So there is no help for black folks. So the infrastructure bill don't do anything for black folks It's not going to put any food on the table for black folks. The money is going to big corporation and contractors, which the majority of them are owned by white corporation, owned by corporation who are led by white folks. Maybe Spanish, a couple of them, because we have some construction in there where you have a big Spanish labor in this country. We know that. Black folks benefit from that. That's not hiding money or hiding food in black people's table or helping black folks pay their bills. So the Democratic Party, even when they had the Senate and the House, could not deliver for those millions of black folks who lined up under COVID for 10 to 12 hours. To put Joe Biden, Senator Warnock, and Senator Ossoff in power, they could not pass anything to help black folks. And Joe Biden, soon as he got to power, his first reaction was to say to black folks, I'm not going to do what I said I'm going to do. And then he let Joe Manchin and become president for 2 years, control everything in the Senate, shut down everything that would help in majority black folks. And Kristen Sinema became the vice president for 2 years, where they stopped every bills. And I remember even when she came to put down the $15 minimum wage, she was so proud that she crushed the $15 minimum wage. You can't even live in America at $15 an hour anymore. You can't pay rent. The rent is $2,000. The average rent in America is $2,000. You can't pay rent with $15 an hour. That's slavery wage. I'm just going to say it. And I'm going to use my First Amendment right. I forgot to say that. Tonight, I want to use my First Amendment right to express myself. I'm using my First Amendment right. I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm going to start with the Democratic Party and go to the Republican Party after that and close with the Congo Federation. So, black American or African American have been abandoned by the Democratic Party. They have done nothing that helped directly. That's why you see all this rebuke and this revolt in the black community right now against the Democratic Party, because they lied to our people. Now, the black Americans are leaving the Democratic Party in droves. And many, even if they didn't leave the Democratic Party, they pledging to vote for Trump or to vote for the couch. Basically, stay home, don't vote in 2024. Many are pledging to vote for the couch or vote for Donald Trump. Former President Donald Trump. Black Americans have been abandoned by the Democratic Party. And it's amazing to me when I see them trying to send some of those black faces in high places who maybe got theirs. They got their degree, they got their good position, they got their money, they're making over $100,000 a year, and they come on TV trying to lie to the majority of black families who make under $50,000 a year, are worth less than $50,000. They come on TV and lie about what Joe Biden have done for black folks. He done nothing for black folks to help black folks directly. And African American have asked for reparation and asked for a bill to protect black folks against hate. Black folks have asked for reparation and I've asked for a bill to protect black folks against hate, because when you look at the statistic, black folks are the one who getting the most hate in this country. Joe Biden don't want to deal with the white supremacy. Joe Biden refused to put a bill that would protect black folks against white supremacy. They keep talking about anti-Semitism for Jews. he gave anti-hate bill for Asian when it was a lot of talk during COVID against Asian. When I remember they used former President Donald Trump saying that he was the one who was keep saying that Asian brought COVID in this country. So he was quick to pass a bill, an anti-hate crime bill, to protect Asian in this country. But Joe Biden and the Democratic Party never present a hate crime bill to protect black folks, who are the ones who receive more hate in this country against the white supremacy. That's a fact. And black folks are asking for an anti-hate crime bill to protect black folks against white supremacy or other kind of discrimination, or they're asking also for reparation for slavery and Jim Crow and all the rest. And we keep out this black politician like representative of is it South Carolina? South Carolina, I think Clapper, the old school, who keep attacking black folks because they're asking for their rights. They keep coming saying that we should not get reparation. You're not going to get reparation. You're not going to get any cash payment. They keep putting the stamp on black folks who have been hurt the most historically in this country. So there's no protection for black America when it comes to a specific bill, a hate crime bill to protect black folks, or a specific bill to pay reparation to black America. They don't talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. But they want black folks to go stand for 12 hours to vote for them. So at the end, they get nothing, and they're still in the lower class and the lower middle class of the country. They're still the one with the less home ownership in the country. They're still the one with the most debt. I didn't even want to read all that. In that article, it's a lot. We can see on the debt. In the household, black household is bigger than the debt in other household. A Spanish, whether it's white or whether it's Hispanic household, or even Asian household. Asian are the one making the most money now. We can see it now. But black folks still at the bottom. And black folks vote 89%, 87% for the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party could not deliver even one policy to help black folks. And they keep sending people, black faces, to come talk about what Joe Biden did for black folks. He did nothing for black folks. Basically, he even said after he got elected that he didn't want to do anything. And he let Joe Manchin be president for 2 years and Kristen Sinema become vice president. Those two senators single-handedly destroyed any bill that will help black America. And now we see the Democratic Party coming again talking about we need to save America, we need to save democracy. Why would black America save democracy? What do they gain in that democracy if they steal the last? What do they gain if you can protect them from hate? They don't get no hate crime bill to be protected. They don't get no reparation for all the damage done to them since slavery and Jim Crow. But Joe Biden rushed when he come to go get money for Israel. So he says he's a Zionist. He don't mind getting $14 billion to give to Netanyahu and his now genocidal regime. Are they slaughtering and the ethnic cleansing Palestinians in front of the whole world? Joe Biden has no problem rushing the Senate and the House to pass $14 billion for the state of Israel, and has no problem giving $60 billion to Ukraine, Zelensky. When it comes to Ukraine or it comes to the state of Israel, Joe Biden has no problem sending money. He has no problem sending money. But when it comes to Black America, they keep telling us that there is no money for us. Or we have to wait at the end of the line. Or we have to help the LGBT first. We have to help now they're pushing the abortion stuff. The reproductive rights. They're trying to make you think that the reproductive right, the abortion, having abortion is most important than black folks having more money on their table, on their kitchen table. Black folks making more money, black folks having more help in the housing, more help in how much they get paid to work, or more help in people who are homeless. The black folks are the most homeless in this country too. That's another aspect. When it comes to incarceration, black folks are the majority that are incarcerated. Because sometimes they don't have money to pay bails. They keep putting bails, bail stuff everywhere in different states in this country where black folks are locked and imprisoned even when they have no violence offense. A small little weed offense or a small little regular offense, black folks spend months in jail for nothing. Destroy their credit, lose jobs and all that stuff. Joe Biden have no solution for that. But he's the first one to come push for money for the state of Israel, 14 billion. That they're getting their money. The Ukrainian getting their money. But Black America, no. We're talking about cash payment in reparation. No, we can't have that. Can we pass some bills to help to protect black folks? No. Elect Christian Cinema and Joe Manchin became president and vice president for 2 years when he had the Senate majority. When he lost the majority, now he come claim, oh, I can't do nothing. You got to give me more senators. When he had the senators, he could not pass nothing to help Black America. But they're the same who come here, ask Black America to come save the democracy. What are they going to save the democracy for? You're not helping them. The democracy is not seem working that good for black folks because they're not progressing as fast as they should. You're not advocating the policies to help Black America, but yet you keep coming asking for Black America to save United States, which is outrageous in my book. And I'm going to say another thing that I think is outrageous is the campaign money. So the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, they have no problem spending billions of dollars in campaign. And I'm a point to the Democratic Party more because they're the one who trying to have black folks come vote for them in majority. You have no problem spending $1 billion in campaign money. You have no problem spending money for the state of Israel. You have no problem spending money for Ukraine. But you have a big problem when it comes to giving money or spending money in the black community. Once you have to inject capital in black businesses or the black community, for all of a sudden there is no money. When it comes to help black folks, when it comes to health care, when it comes to homelessness, when it comes to the police state situation, the ones who have the most jail, you have no money for that, no help for that. When it comes to the poverty, I read here in that report, they say black children are 3 times more likely to be poor than white children. So it's 3 times more black American in poverty, black American children in poverty than white children in America. 3 times. What are you doing about that? Nothing. But you're sending money to protect the state of Israel. You're sending money to protect, billions up to protect Ukraine, Zelensky. But here in the United States, when it comes to black folks, for all of a sudden, there is no more money. That's the shameful part. And you come talk about HBCU all the time. First of all, the majority of our black folks don't even go to HBCU. The majority of many of black folks don't go to college. So you're talking about a minimal part of black folks. Out of the 40, how many they say black folks was in? 47 million, 47.9 million black people, 14.4% in the country right now identify as black. Out of the 47.9 million people, it's a tiny percentage that goes to HBCU, and it's a tiny percent when it comes to trying to help or inject some money into HBCUs. That's a tiny percent. That's not where the majority of black folks are. The majority of black folks are hardworking American, are blue collar. Where America is, those who have built this country. But you see, they're making more, the majority of them are under $50,000 a year of income. You have no help for them. When you come talk about HBCUs, you can talk about what is pardoning student loan or what paying for. Not every black folks have student loan. It's a tiny portion of. Madam, let me see. Let me go look at that part about student loans. What they saying here about Black F? They talk about the debt here. I said home ownership. I see they was talking about student loan here. Okay. The black education and certification crisis. The wealth gap between black and white households increased with education due to student loan debt. Although high school graduation rate for most Americans converge, the quality of post-K-12 education attainment struggle to keep pace. The share of blacks who are college graduates has more than doubled since 1990, but still lags far behind whites and Asians. Data from the U.S. Department of Education indicate that around 86% of black students take out student loan debt compared with around only 68% of white students. So 86% of black students are in debt. Black students also typically owe more than white students. Black borrowers take out an average of $39,500 in student loan, while white students borrow an average of $29,900. So even those so-called black students are 86% of them are in debt. So they're already broke. That's what it means. So you make sure that they stay broke. And we know that Joe Biden had a lot in his past, in a bill. He's the one who passed a lot of bills that lock black folks in these debts of student debt. He's the one who passed bills where, when he was a senator, to make sure that student loan stay as a debt that you cannot get rid of in bankruptcy. Joe Biden passed those bills when he was senator. And they made sure that, because they knew that the majority of the students who was getting loans was black folks. So he locked for generations, decades, black wealth with debt to make sure that they stay in debt for decades. Because you cannot get rid of the student loans in bankruptcy. So that's locking generation in poverty. That's why all this stuff, and Joe Biden passed bills, just like Joe Biden as a senator passed bills to pass the crime bill, who make all this generation of black people in jail for 10 years and more for little offenses. Destroy life of millions of black folks, black men especially, who spent decades in jail for small offenses. Joe Biden passed the crime bill. Joe Biden was involved also in the student loan stuff that crushed the black community. So don't come to us, don't come talk to us about Joe Biden did more for black Americans and I don't know who. That's not true. Joe Biden have a lot of influence in the destruction of the black community, of the black stand in America. Because he passed brutal laws. So when he was a senator, he had no problem passing laws that would destroy black families for decades. But when he became president, he said himself that he didn't want to do anything for black folks anymore after they voted for him. And for sure, when he got the Senate and the House, Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema became president and vice president for 2 years, and they could not pass nothing to help black folks. No policies at all. And that's the Democratic Party that asking black folks to save democracy? For who? That's the question that we're asking now. You're asking black folks to save democracy for who? Because obviously in the numbers, we're not getting that much help. Ukraine is getting help. The state of Israel is getting help. And now, let me bring the other part that happening under Joe Biden presidency. A flood of illegal immigrants. A flood of, they say undocumented immigrant, but many say illegal immigrant, or some say migrant. A flood of illegal immigrants are flooding the United States of America in different states, and the most of them are being sent or flowing in black communities where they had to take the money, for the little money that those black communities have in their counties, in their cities, in their state. They're taking that money to house and to help illegal migrant in the numbers like $9,000 for rent to pay to house migrant. They're giving them food stamp. They're giving them bus passes. They're helping the illegal migrant more than they help the black community, and they send the illegal migrant in the black community. So they create a crisis here. And that's happening under Joe Biden leadership. Just like the war in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia, happened in the Biden presidency. Now, the genocide that happening between Israel and Palestine is happening under Joe Biden. Now, the biggest illegal immigrant crisis in decades, I think they're talking about, what, 8 million? We hear a number like 8 or 9 million illegally moved to the United States during Joe Biden presidency, the 3.5 years. About 8 to 9 million illegal crossing. And those illegal are sent in black communities, not white communities, not Spanish communities. They send in black communities. They come create that tension. You have racial tension. You have financial tension, because black folks are already showing you are the ones who are receiving less from the federal government in this country. We're receiving less money. We're the most likely to be poor. And we're the one who are already struggling heavily in the black community. But you send in now the majority of the illegal immigrant in the black community to create that tension and maybe even start a war, because If you don't manage this thing right, you might end up to creating a war here. Look at what happened in Chicago, in New York. And black folks are getting angrier every day because now they just not put in the margin of the country, but now they have to deal with the mass illegal immigrant situation that come in taking shelters, come in taking financial resources away from the little resources that we already have. We already at the bottom when it comes to resources. And I'm going to talk to the Republican Party after that. But I mean, let me finish with the Democratic Party. I'm taking my time because they're the one who are destroying the black America now because they have lied to black folks. And we have to be able to say it in 2024 before the election time. We have to say it loud and clear. Because if I'm fighting for my own people, the Kongo people, as a leader, as a governor today, I'd be damned if I stay silent when I see this treatment of the majority black in this country who are not getting enough help. And now they're trying to put them in a crisis situation of maybe getting to it with the illegal immigrant. And don't forget, I'm an immigrant myself. So they opened the floodgate of illegal immigrants, illegal migration in the United States here under Joe Biden. The Republican Party still keeps saying open borders, that Joe Biden have an open border policy. That's what the Republicans are saying. But if you get 8 to 9 million illegal crossing in 3 years, that's quite a lot. It wasn't that many before, by what I understood. But the issue is they're sending majority of them in black communities. And Joe Biden is doing nothing about that. He's not helping compensate those black communities financially. I'm not talking about those feel good when you send a couple of black folks with high degrees who was with you in the Ivy League, who are with you in power over there that you put in power. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about those that the majority, the people that we don't see every day. There is no help for them. Where is the help for the black community when it comes to this situation? Now you create a crisis. You're trying to create a hate tension between black American and immigrant. You think we don't see that? We see it. I'm an immigrant myself and I'm black. I'm both. But I'm here legally. But the other part that they don't talk about in the Joe Biden presidency, this flux of illegal migration had another effect. It made the legal migration harder. So you have little people who are following the laws who wait for 10 years to get their paperwork. Some wait for 8 years to reunite with their families. So the flux of illegal immigrants created a crisis in the legal immigration process where they not just takes longer time now to get your paper, but they double the price of the paperwork. Now they're paying almost twice more for the green card and for the citizenship, or even for the asylum process. The fees have almost doubled for the legal immigration. But what we see as a controversy, the people who are here legally, who came here legally, are paying twice the price for the paperwork and getting no help from the government. But the illegal migrants are getting help to get their rent paid, they're getting food stamp, they're getting shelters, they're getting money, and you have American citizens who are not getting any help from the government. And the majority, because they send the illegal people in the black communities, they basically punish the black folks. What kind of policies is that? What kind of democracy are you talking about when you talk about black folk? Have to save democracy. Is that the democracy that we have to save where we get nothing? You give all the money to Ukraine, you give all the money to Netanyahu, the Zionist, like you say you was a Zionist yourself. He get to get the billions of dollars. Zelensky get to get the billions of dollars, but you come into the black community where you have done nothing. Your student loan BS is for the small portion of the 47.9 million black folks in this country. Not all of them are going to college, so that's affect nobody almost in the black community. The HBCU or student loan debt that you're trying to cancel, that affect nobody. And you're trying to cancel something that you built, because you passed bills when you was a senator to attach the student loan forever at people's back. And you knew that 89%, 86% of black students are in debt. So you was aware when you was passing those bills 20, 30 years ago that the majority of the students who will be stuck with those debts are black folks. That's the reality of Joe Biden and the Democratic Party and what they have done to the black community. Nothing. That's why you have a reckoning coming. And I'm not even gonna play with the words. It's a reckoning coming, Joe Biden, the Democratic Party. Black America will vote against you. Not for you this time. Basically, black folks are voting against you, President Biden, against Kamala Harris, because of what you have not done, because of the way you open the vulnerability of black folks and let them be crushed, not just by debt, but by poverty, and now by illegal migration. Now you're creating a tension, might even end up in a war. Because we don't know how that's going to turn out. How much these black folks going to be able to take if they keep taking the resources and giving them to illegal migrants. And on the legal immigration side, you have double the fees. The fees are double, and the time to wait for paperwork is longer. So people who came illegally, who pay taxes, who work, now they have to wait twice more time than they had to wait before. And it costs twice more money. So legal immigration got hit under your presidency. So I'm asking again. You come to ask black America to save democracy for who? You have no intention of saving black folks. And when it comes to the money for the campaign, you have no problem putting 500 million or billions of dollars to pay advertisement or to pay consultant to come convince black folks when you haven't injected any of that money in the black community. Why are you paying people to come talk to black folks? Why are you picking some black faces to come and pay them a lot of money to come talk to black folks when you have given no money to black folks? You haven't inject. Black folks need injection of capital. They need tangible. That's why they're talking to you about reparation. It's tangible. It's assets. It's the opportunity to get land, to get a house, to get cash. Some statistics talking about maybe $300,000 or $400,000 per black family for reparation. These are the statistics that we see, that a couple of numbers are floating around. Why don't you give them those $300,000 or $400,000 per black family? Why don't you do that? You have no problem giving money to Netanyahu, who's slaughtering Palestine right now. You don't think twice when you have to send money to Israel. You don't think twice when you have to send money to Ukraine to Zelensky to fight against Putin. You don't think twice when it comes for majority white folks to get money. That's what the truth is. That's what the reality is. You guys in the Senate or in the House, you don't think twice when the money have to go to majority people, majority white people. When it comes to black folks, it's the same story. But yet, you come asking black folks to save democracy for who? I'm asking the question. You could not protect us when it comes to hate crime. You can't protect us when it comes to housing. We only 40% of us own a home in this country. When it comes to jobs, we make under $50,000 a year. Where is the help for us? Where is the capital even in the business, on the business side, those black people who are doing business, when we look at it, they gain maybe 1 or 2% of the federal dollar. But why are you coming asking us to save democracy? Why is the Democratic Party asking black folks to save democracy? When they could not help any black folks here for all these 60 years that they're voting for you, you could not deliver. We're still at the bottom of the ladder. And now the reckoning is coming because black folks are rejecting the Democratic Party in majority. And they're going to vote against you. Because when black folks go vote for Donald Trump or go vote for the couch, they're voting against Biden. It's a vote against you, President Biden. Against your administration. Against your lack of care. Your lack of empathy for the black folks in this country. You're more worried about Israel and Ukrainians than you worry about black folks who put you in power in 2020. Who lined up for 10 to 12 hours here in Georgia, who got you 2 senators, and you could not deliver anything for black folks. You think by giving costing a couple of student loans for tiny pieces of black people or tiny pieces of HBCU student who represent nothing if you count the 47.9 million of African Americans in this country, 14.4, the tiny pieces of student loan debt that you created this thing when you was a senator. You created those laws who made 89% of black folks, 86% of young black students in debt for the rest of their lives. You created that in your policy as a senator. So yeah, that's your creation. Just like you created a crime bill with Clinton, with former President Clinton. You created that mess. Who destroyed life of all these young black folks. Now people are asking to be repaired. They're asking for reparation. They're asking for you to amend the damage done to the black community. No, what you're doing, you're sending us illegal immigrants to come fight with black folks for the little money that they have. And you're asking black folks to save democracy. For democracy for who? So you guys can send more money to Israel and more money to Ukraine? For majority white? I mean, you have to say that's what's happening here. You have no problem sending money to majority white countries or majority white European descent countries. But when it comes to us, here in America, the black America, and I'm not going to get into the African people part, because over there you also have a reckoning. People are rebuking now their politics. But I'm going to come to the Republican Party. I've not said too much about the Republican Party. We know where they stand. Donald Trump is more likely to become president again. Let's just say it. And my only take for the Republican Party, look, we know what the history is with the Republican Party and black folks, all right? I'm not going to play around the bush. People are not asking for love You know, we're not asking for you to love us as black folks in this country. Yeah, we passed that. So what we're asking for respect. And me, I always say clearly to the Republican Party and all his politicians, what you have going for you is the tax cut. The tax cut can be very effective. I'm not even going to talk about any other policy because all the other policy seems to be, when you look inside, anti-black. They seems to crush black folks when you look at the rest of the policy. But I'm not going to get into that because that's the history of who you are. I'm just going to talk about the tax cut because to me, for the Republican Party to amend itself with the relationship with the black folks, the best way to do it is to use the same tax cut and start, like I said before, the best way for the Republican Party is to take the cruelty out of the tax cut when it comes to African American or black people in this country. I'm focusing on black because I'm black. So I know we can talk about Spanish. You got LGBTQ people. I think everybody got their own representation already, and I don't need to come here and try to do the talk to the minority stuff. I'm not interested in that. I'm focusing on black because black are the last. Because of the history, because of the reality, I need to talk about black folks first. Like in my country, I talk about the Congo first because the Congo are the ones who have been exploiting and they took the natural resources and we have not benefited. So we're talking about ourselves first because we are the last right now. So for the Republican Party, the best way to amend is to take the cruelty out of the tax cut, right? So the tax cut is the way you redistribute money in this country. And the problem with the Republican Party, when they do the tax cut, the 90% of the money goes to rich folks. And the rich, the problem that the fact that the money, the redistribution of money through the tax cut goes to rich folks, the problem is the most of the family are white family. They're already rich. They've been rich for 4 or 5 generations. So they're not actually helping. They keep talking about, they talk about, yeah, they're investing in business, corporation, or all those corporations are owned by majority white families. Right. So let's not kid ourselves. It's not that they send money to corporation or to business or to small business. That's BS. They send money to majority white families who own those corporations, who own those small businesses. That's the reality. So all I'm saying to the Republican Party is you need to redistribute the tax cut better. If you want to gain black folk support or the black vote, it might not. It don't need to be. It's not out of love. It's not because we love your policy, or it's not because they love Donald Trump policies. No, it's because how much is going to help better the black community compared to the Democrats who are doing nothing for the black community and getting 87 or 89% of the vote. So the Republican Party need to take the cruelty out of the tax cut and redistribute the money better in a way where it directly helps those families of in the black community who are under $50,000 a year or get less than $50,000, even the middle class, because those who pay between $55,000 and $89,000, that's the middle class. Why don't you help the middle class? Use the tax cuts to help the middle class too, not just the poor. If you can give 90% of the tax cut to the rich who don't need the money, why don't you redistribute it better? Give a chunk of a big part, a big portion to the poor community and target the black community. Make it on your campaign that you're targeting the black community. We're going to give this amount of tax cut. Make a number. Don't just give money to consultants. Give money directly to the black community. That's what I would do if I was Donald Trump and his campaign. Because you're going to guarantee that they're going to vote against Biden. Pick a number. $10,000 for every community, from black community from this Unless of giving millions of dollars to consultants, they're not gonna come convince black folks. Give money to black folks directly. I'm saying that to the Republican Party. Use your tax cut tactic. Commit to a number. $10,000 will go to the black community making between maybe $0 and $28,000 a year. Then you can decrease. Then $7,000 is going to go to a family who making between $28,000 and $55,000 a year. You target the black community, and $5,000 is going to go to the middle class, and maybe $1,500 going to go to upper middle class, and maybe $1,000 go to the upper class. So you start at $10,000 of help. Directly injected to the black community. That's what needs to be done to help black folks. Nobody cares about your millions of dollars, your billions of dollars that you put in the hands of rich consultants, whether they or lobbies, whether they're Democratic or Republican. Nobody give a damn about it. That's not going to do anything. You're going to go put ad at Fox News or MSNBC. They're billionaires. Fox News and MSNBC are already making billions of dollars a year, so that's not doing nothing for us. So my suggestion to the Republican Party, we don't care about being loved here. We know what the reality is. What we need to see is an injection of capital. You claim to be the party of capitalism, you claim to be the party of business. Well, inject the cash in the black community and you will get the vote probably. And they will be glad, and I'm telling you, they will go vote with a lot of motivation. You just got to put a clear plan. Put a number. I'm going to inject $10,000 to black communities who are at the bottom of the country, who make worth less than $50,000. Make less than $50,000 a year. I'm going to inject $10,000 from this tranche to this tranche, like they say. The lower middle class, the 20% bottom, make under $28,000. You inject $10,000 here for black folks. The lower middle class, who make between $28,008 and $55,000, you inject $7,000 in every black household. The middle class, who make between $55,001 and $89,744, you inject $5,000 for every household. And the upper middle class, who makes between $89,745 and $149,131, you give them maybe $2,000. And for the upper class, who makes $149,000, $132,000 more, you give them maybe $1,000. You make a straightforward policy targeting the black community. That's what we need now. That's what black folks need to see. We don't need you to come send us your consultant or send us your lobbyists to come talk to us about voting. We need the injection of capital in the black community now. That's my message to the Republican Party. Take the cruelty out of tax cut. As you put the tax cut together, change the tax cut in a way where the money will go straight to the black community. Make it a plan as you build in your Republican platform for 2024. Make a direct plea to the black community with numbers. Just like I said, I explained here, the lower class we get more, the lower middle class we get a little bit less, the middle class we get a little bit less, the upper middle class we get a little bit less, and the upper class we get a little bit. Put it in writing and use it in your next tax cut. When you come back to power, you redistribute the money. Because all this thing about Ukraine, about Israel, all this stuff is about money. So we're tired of being left out of the money redistribution in this country. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it, Mr. Representative. I'm using my first amendment right to say clearly to United States, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, we are tired to being left out of the redistribution money of this country, in this country. You want people to save democracy when you cannot redistribute the money on their side. Why not? So, I'm saying to the Republican Party, put together a tax cut where you're going to take out the cruelty when it comes to the black community. You target it with exact number. From $10,000 to down. From the poorest, going to get the more. The lower class, middle class, going to get a little bit less. We can go from 10,000 to 7,000 household for the families. And then we go to 5,000 for the middle class, and then we go to 2,000 for the upper middle class, and go to $1,000 for the rich. The rich don't know the minute, but you know, since we redistribute money, let's redistribute money for everybody. And I don't want to hear about giving money only to poor people. Middle class people also have bills. They pay mortgages. They pay cars. They have to feed their family. And I'm tired of this argument. Distribute money only to poor people or rich people on top. How about middle people, middle class people? That must change too. So like I say, you put a number starting from $10,000 to the poorest, and you go down 7,000, 5,000, 2,000, and 1,000. We have 5 classes here in America. The lower class, 10,000. The middle class, 7,000. The middle class, let me stop. The lower class, $10,000 redistribution. The lower middle class, 7,000 redistribution. The middle class, $5,000 redistribution for household. The upper middle class, $2,000 redistribution of household. And the upper class, $1,000 redistribution. Everybody gets a share of the tax cut. Redistribution. It's all a redistribution of resources, and we do need these resources in the black community. That's what we want to see. We don't care about you spending money on consultants or on lobbyists to try to convince us to vote for you. We don't care about that. That's the waste of money in my book. Send the money directly to our communities. That's what we want to see. So that was my take for the Democratic and Republican Party. And I'm going to close out here with something that I put on my title here. To stop the looting and the killing of the Kongo people. And I want to talk to the United States again. Look, we have done a lot of conversation here about the Congo Federation, the 55th country of Africa. And we have been very clear to the United States. The policy of bringing death to our people, we are not interested in that. We have said that to you before. The policies of forcing yourself to come take our natural resources, we are not interested in that. We have told you that now we want to do business out of respect. All your multinationals should negotiate with the owners of the land, like the Congo Federation, to make deals where we own a chunk of our own natural resources, and we partner with you to also give you some of the natural resources so you can keep building the United States. But we don't want you to use your method where you use France or Macron of France or Kagame of Rwanda to come force themselves into our land and steal the natural resources. We are not interested in this way of doing business with the IMF, with the Money International Fund, and all this crappy way of enslaving our African countries. We want straightforward deals. So stop the intimidation. Stop trying to bring different people to, trying to force different people to come to our land, to trying to force us to a war between each other, or trying to distract us like what's happening in the 80s when people have been killing each other. Now they're turning the weapon against you. Because that's what's going to end up happening. And if they turn the weapon against the United States, you're going to be kicked out of Africa. We have told that to the Joe Biden administration. If you do not listen to us, the Congo people, who are the ones who came to fight for the autochthon people of our land, this land where you guys came to take the resources, you came to take slaves. In the 1800s, you guys was at the Congo, the General Act of Berlin Conference. You guys was part of that. You guys signed this accord and split Africa and came to take our resources and our people and to build the United States. So the history is here. It's a lot of money owed to our people. I think the governor of the state of Nyaji, the state of Buenza and Likumu, the governor Bernard Pungi, Mikhail Pungi said, Prince Mikhail Pungi said, talk about thinking about putting as a reparation, not just recognizing the Congo Federation as the 55th country of Africa to start the healing, but also put maybe 1% of your GDP over the years to pay for reparation for what was done to our people. And we don't want to see the deal with Kagame, the deal with France. We don't give a damn about that. We have rejected that. We have told you, let's do the deal one-on-one, but a deal based on respect, where you come together with natural resources, you pay for it, and we also build our people, build our country, who has not been done for the last 60 years under the French Republic BS that you created with the IMF and the CFA franc. We have rejected all that. So stop looting and killing the autochthon people which are the owners of the land and the natural resources. We deserve to build our country too. We deserve to build our people too. We deserve to have national security too, to protect our people. Not just America. Change the deal. We have told you that. We don't want to go around the bush anymore. We don't care about that. We're not interested in the deal with France or Kagame. Let's do a straightforward deal which is going to benefit us and you. And stop all this pushing war on our soil. We're not interested in that. And if you don't listen, we have told you, America will be run out of Africa. Right now, French is the one that are getting run out of Africa. You know that. Because they mismanage and they create a lot of killing and a lot of pillage in our land. So we're asking America to change its foreign policy in a way where the multinational can do business, but in a way where the autochthon people also can grow. We are not interested in going to war every 6 months because you send some jihadists or you send some Rwandese to come bother us. We are not interested in that BS. We talk to you straightforward. We talk to the Biden administration straightforward. We're not going around the bush. We are straight because we have the support of our people. Over $50,000 signature. We have the support of over 3 million in the Congo Federation. You know that. You know our history. Because you came to our land to take our people and take our natural resources, so you know the history. All we're saying is you recognize the Congo Federation as the 55th country of Africa. We talk about maybe 1% of the GDP need to be paid, in reparation over time. And let's do a straightforward deal. You take the French out, take the Rwanda out, all these people out. We told you, we don't need to go to them. We don't want to go to nobody. Let's do a straightforward deal. We are product of the North. We live here in the North. You have 3 governors of the Congo Federation living in the North. The governor of the state of Buenza and Lekumu live in Canada. The governor of the state of Pangala live in California. The governor of the state of Nyadi, me, I live in Georgia. And the king of the kingdom of Luango live in France. So you have 3 governors of the Congo Federation that live in the north. So we can solve this issue without beating around the bush. No more looting, no more killing. We're not interested in that way of doing politics. You're talking about your national security. We're talking about the national security of the people who are left. Because the Congo people have been slaughtered by millions. France and you have let Sassou Nguesso kill 4 million in our land. On the other side of the Congo RDC, 20 million was killed. These are Congo people too. 20 million was killed by Rwanda, which is your army. Stop going around the bush, trying to make deal with all the people that the land and the natural resources don't belong to. Those land and natural resources from the Congo land are ours. Let's make a straightforward deal like we do here in America. You see me talking, I'm talking straight. I talk to the Democratic Party straight. I talk to the Republican Party straight. I talk to the United States government straight. I don't go around the bush. Because we are a product of the North. We know how we do things here in America. So stop going around trying to loot and create all this in killing. We don't need that shit. We don't need that. Let's do straightforward business. Recognize the Congo Federation as a down payment for the 55th country of Africa in the United Nations. And then let's talk about a 1% GDP reparation payment that we can make over the years. So let's do a straightforward deal with the Congo Federation. That's all we sign. We are here in the north with you. So I'm going to stop my live here. I wanted to go to speak. I took a little bit more time to pick the Democratic Party because they're the one who caused the most damage to our people. And I gave a solution to the Republican Party this time because I want the Republican Party to understand that it's not about love. It's not about loving us. We don't need you to love us. I'm just being honest. This thing is not about love. It's about what's going to help directly our people. Put a tax cut that will redistribute money starting from $10,000 to the black community, and you will get the black vote probably for the next 10 years. This is not out of love. It's a business deal because black folks have been abandoned in this country. We need somebody to understand the power that we have and the contribution we want to do to this country. But we need now to have the money come to our community. We don't care about your campaign money, giving money to Fox News or MSNBC or consult or black consultant or lobbyist. Like we say in America, fuck that. Give the money to the people. The black community need an injection of capital right now. And then we go vote. And put Donald J. Trump back in the presidency. And we don't want to hear nothing about saving democracy anymore because democracy didn't help us. We're still at the bottom. We want injection of capital in the black community right now. Like I say, From $10,000 to the lowest, $7,000 to the next bracket, 5,000 to the middle class bracket, 2,000 to the middle class, and $1,000 to the richest in this country. A straightforward redistribution through a tax cut. It can be done. It's just a redistribution of money. That's what a tax cut is. So make that tax cut permanent. That's the platform for you, the Republican Party. And if you have the guts to go with a platform like that, I can guarantee that you're going to be in power in November. Black folks need to see tangible. Because the Democratic Party don't understand that. They have abandoned the black vote, the black people. And they have done nothing. They could not protect us when it comes to hate crime. They could not help us get reparation, that people talking about $300,000 or $400,000 per household. And they could not even pass the basics, protect child poverty, where black children are 3 times more likely to be poor than white children. They could not even help there. But he's so busy giving money to Netanyahu, $14 billion. He's so busy giving money to Ukraine. So Joe Biden is okay when the billions of dollars go to the majority white countries, but cannot help the black people who put him and his people in power. He has nothing for them. So that's why I'm giving a solution to the Republican Party. Use the tax cut, take the cruelty out of the tax cut, and redistribute the money coming from 10,000 to 7,000. Let me give the bracket again, just to close my life, because that's important. We're not playing with that. We're not playing around. We don't need consultants to tell us who to vote for. We need tangibles. We don't need no consultants to tell us who you're supposed to vote for. So, for the Republican Party, your tax cut that you need to put together for your campaign of 2024, straight targeting the black community, that money needs to be injected straight to the black community through a tax cut, a redistribution of wealth for everybody, and it has to touch tangibly the black community. We started with lower class, the bottom 20% that make under $28,000, they get $10,000. Then we go to the lower middle class, those in the 20 to 40 percentile of household income, who make between $28,008 and $55,000. They're going to get $7,000. We go then to the middle class. The middle class, those in the 40 to 60 percentile of household income, ranging from $55,001 to $89,744, get $5,000 in household. The upper middle class, household in the 60th to 80th percentile with income between $89,745 and $149,131, they're going to get $2,000. And then the last class, the upper class, that's the class that you like to send the tax cut to, the class, the richest people here. The top 20% of earner with household income of $149,000, $132 or more. So that's where the tax cut goes the most of the time. You get them $1,000 out of that particular tax cut. And out of that, the redistribution, because we know that the tax cut, some money going to go to businesses and stuff like this. But that's a specific redistribution of money per class. That's what the black America need. An injection of capital. And like I said again, there is no lobbies that you're going to go pick. There is no media like MSNBC or CNN that you're going to go spend money. Stop all that extra spending for nothing. Target directly the communities. That's the solution. And you'll be in power for decades. and make that your platform in the Republican Party to bring back Donald Trump. If he can execute that, if he can make sure that black folks get that money, the black community get that money, and less of giving the money to those already rich who don't need the money. The redistribution needs to happen where people need the money. Now, with inflation and everything that we went through, and with the illegal immigration that Joe Biden let destroy the black community here. So that's the solution. Look, my name is Jovet Birongi. I'm the governor of the state of Nyaji. I'm a permanent member of the Kongo Federal Council. And I'm here in the state of great state of Georgia. I'll be coming time to time to speak to our people. And I'm always going to start from the black man, for the black people perspective, because these are the ones at the bottom. And I'm black. It's only right that I start from where I stand, where I understand the best. And I know it's a lot of people from other communities who can come speak for their community, but that's where I start my fight, always. And I hope that you guys listen, share this video with every Republican official, every Democratic official. Send that video to former President Donald J. Trump. Send that video to President Biden. Everybody needs to understand what we're talking about here when it comes to the black vote and the black economy. And it's a reckoning coming. Black folks don't want to be used and abused anymore. Black folks not going to come save a democracy where they get nothing out of it. This is about tangible, and this is about a redistribution of wealth, and this wealth needs to hit the black community as soon as possible. That's our expectation in 2024. Thank you very much for everything. My name is Jovet Birongi. Please, may God be with you, be with the United States, and be with the Congo Federation, the Congo people. Thank you. Amen.